Breaking news, this is crazy. America might be about to go to war with, of all countries, Nigeria? Let me explain. This was posted by Trump on Truth Social late last night. He must have been up late having a meltdown. I don't know what possessed him to tweet this nearly at midnight, but good one, Trump, I guess.
If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria, and may very well go into that now disgraced country guns a-blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these terrible, horrible atrocities. I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet. Just like the terrorist thugs who attack our cherished Christians. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast.
Well then, that's definitely something. Correct me if I'm wrong, is there actually a Christian genocide happening in Nigeria right now? Like, is that even a thing, or is Trump just making it up? Like, is there any merit to that? I guess we can look into it. Nigeria Christian genocide? I guess now the news is going to be flooding everything. Alleged Christian killings and unrecognized genocide in Nigeria. This is from Hudson.org. How much do Western Christians know about Nigeria? Do we recall that it is the largest nation in Africa? Are we aware of its hugely important economic role? Most important of all, do we realize at this very moment that another genocide against Christians seems to be taking place there? Nigeria is home to 186 million women, men, and children. Of those, about 86 million, 46% of the population, are Christians. Year after year, this West Africa powerhouse is the topmost economic performer in Africa. It is also a key regional force capable of stabilizing or destabilizing the countries that surround it, including Niger, Chad, Burkina Faso, and Mali. At the same time, today's Nigeria is the scene of relentless attacks against Christians, including widespread murder, atrocious maiming, gang rape, and burning alive of victims in their homes and churches. Okay, wait, hold on. Is this actually going to be a Trump W? I think Trump should be intervening in a lot of genocides. Like, I think Trump, if Trump was perfect, which he's far from, obviously, he would be deploying troops on the ground to protect Palestinians in Gaza and to force Israel to stop killing them. We'd all agree that that would be good, but I don't think that Trump is just looking to virtue signal by using force to stop a genocide against Christians that's actually happening. I think, if anything, Trump would like to use this as an opportunity to use that new Department of War he's always talking about and, crush opposition. This would be extremely stupid, by the way. Obviously, America could win in the long run, though it would be a massive waste of money and resources if we did deploy troops in Nigeria. Like, it is not the kind of place that we want to be, losing a bunch of people to. The tweet that posted this mentions, in fact, real talk, is Trump fucking high right now? Nigeria is the most populated country in Africa, with 237 million people. Also, it's 45% Christian. That's 106 million Christians. The GOFN has been fighting a counterinsurgency against Islamic terrorists for decades. Nigerian Muslims murdered, kidnapped, attacked disproportionately in the north, which is why we were helping them stop Boko Haram. Get this demented old fool off of the Adderall and off of social media. So is this just an issue that's already being handled? Because, people do not seem happy about it, that's for sure. I'm really curious to see, how will Trump's admittedly favorite TV show on the planet, Fox and Friends, try to spin this? I've got their segment brought up right here. I hope you guys are ready, because I want to respond to it. Before we do though, if you end up liking this video, please consider leaving a thumbs up on the stream or the video depending on your watching. Hype the video to boost it in the algorithm, comment down below to do the same, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. It really does help. I appreciate it a ton. Anyway, without any further ado, let's see how Trump's favorite TV show is trying to spin this.
All right, well, we're going to begin this morning with a Fox News alert.
President Trump. A Fox News alert!
ordering the Pentagon to prepare for possible fast military action in Nigeria if the country fails to crack down on the mass killing.
Rebecca Castor joins us live from Washington, D.C. with those details. Rebecca, good morning.
Okay, I'm going to take a wild guess and say if the government of Nigeria doesn't crack down on these killings is an oversimplification that is emblematic of Trump and the Republicans. They like to simplify situations into snappy rhetoric like crack down on this problem without actually explaining any real strategy on how you could feasibly reduce the amount of insert problem.
Rachel, good morning. Yeah, President Trump is not mincing words here. This is what he said on Truth Social yesterday. If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into the now disgraced country guns a-blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible attack. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth got the message and says the Department of War is preparing for action. The response comes as the persecution of Christians in
Like, I do not think that there should be Christians getting genocided in Nigeria. That is a bad thing, and I like intervention to stop genocide. That is one thing you will never see me let up on. If there is a reason why or a way in which the US could get involved, even directly, to prevent people who are innocent civilians getting killed, like, that is... I think America has a responsibility to do so. I know that a lot of non-Americans see that as a cringe America world police mindset, but I grew up thinking that America changed the world by helping beat Hitler and the Japanese in World War II. That America getting involved can be the difference between the bad guys winning and the good guys winning. And I want to see America be that America again. I would like to see a scenario where even if... I could see this being a broken clock situation, theoretically. I'm sure for Trump, though, this is the thing, though. Like, as much as I want to, like, hopium and be like, maybe because there is an actual genocide of Christians there and Trump wants to virtue signal about Christians, this is a real case where, like, Trump would be stopping an actual genocide, broken clock. At the same time, Nigeria is replete with minerals, natural resources, the kind of thing that someone like Trump, who wants to engage in expansionist, like, military policy, would absolutely invade another country over. I think he wants those diamonds. I think he wants that lithium. I think he wants that cobalt. I don't know.
Nigeria has reached crisis levels. Islamist militants have burned down churches and Christian schools. And international civil rights groups estimate more than 50,000 Christians have been murdered in the country since 2009. But the president of Nigeria claims the reports of violence are misleading and says on X the characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality, nor does it take into consideration the consistent and sincere efforts of the government to safeguard freedom of religion and beliefs for all Nigerians.
So I would be inclined to believe him if it weren't for the fact that several independent and blatantly left-leaning outlets were also reporting that there was a massive genocide of Christians happening in Nigeria. This feels like, knowing that it's not like a left or right thing to believe that this genocide is happening, that it's a pretty unanimously agreed upon thing. Obviously, conservatives aren't going to deny this genocide is happening because they like Christian persecution being a thing that they can victimize themselves over. They love it. So, of course, they're not going to deny it. And so, I don't know. This does seem like it's a face-saving thing. My coworker is Nigerian and is Christian. They still have a problem with ISIS in the north. From what I'm gathering, it's like certain regions of Nigeria have a presence of radical Islamist genociders that are going out and killing Christians. It's more like gang violence, if anything. And now Nigeria's government is being strong-armed by Trump. Like, we're going to invade your country if you don't manage to stop the gang violence, basically, to make it more analogous to America, I guess. It's not too dissimilar than what Trump is doing to American states, actually, or American cities. If you don't stop the crime in your city, we're going to invade it with the National Guard. It is a bit like that. It is a little similar. So, maybe I'm just looking for hopium too much. I'm definitely going to assume Trump has nothing but bad intentions here. There's no way this is a broken clock situation. Trump just renamed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. He just ordered the Department of War to start testing nukes again. We are an authoritarian, fascist, insane invader country now.
And our administration is committed to working with the United States government and international community to deepen understanding and cooperation of communities of all faiths. President Trump also recently redesignated Nigeria.
It's far worse than ISIS they're dealing with. It's the same group that Mali and Nigeria are dealing with. What are they? What was their... I can't remember their acronym again. We're going to do a big research stream on this. How about that? Do you guys, after this segment, we will, because we're doing gaming after this segment, how about while we game, we watch some, breakdowns of this story and, what's going on there and, the politics of the region. I feel like that could be interesting. Could be a good research topic. TLDR has one? Awesome. Pretty good? All right. We'll watch that when we're doing gaming as a bit of a research stream after politics today. Cool.
As a country of concern after former President Biden removed it from the list in 2021. Rachel, Charlie, and Griff, back to you.
All right, Rebecca, thank you very much.
Here comes the twisting of the narrative to fit Trump's. Are you guys ready? I need you to know this is the most watched talk show in America. This is what countless Americans go to get their morning news from.
Thank you, Rebecca. Well, it's really hard to tell what's going on. We understand that they are Muslim rebels of sorts. There's all kinds of unrest in these countries, and it's not just in Nigeria. It's in Sudan. It's in Chad. It's in the Congo. I mean, it's all over Africa. And, it's out of control. And it is very targeted at Christians. You look at that number in just one country, 50,000, and then he says, well, there's no targeted attack.
This right here is probably the best example of why religion as a concept is just kind of evil in its current state. We all know that Christianity did not originate from Africa. Parts of it. A very specific strip of Africa part of it is, relevant too. But, for the most part, Africa was not historically Christian. For a long time, if anything, you would consider it historically Muslim. And a lot of other parts of Africa, because it's so fucking big, are tons of different religions that we've never heard of. But a lot of them are related to Islam. So the idea of Christianity being so present here tells me that it was due to European intervention that Christianity was disseminated throughout the region, probably. That would be my guess, just off the top of my head. That European missionaries are responsible. And it's sad to see that the actions of European missionaries forcing conversion on Muslims a long time ago would lead to those people becoming their own distinct Christian group, that future Muslims would retaliatorily genocide in order to purge the Christianity from their land that, to be fair, probably did show up because of colonization. But you're killing the descendants of the very people who are the victims of those colonizers, who were forced to convert to Christianity in order to receive aid, or at the threat of death or enslavement. Who knows? It's just, yeah. There's a lot of injustice happening here, for sure.
It's kind of crazy, but we've been hearing this from, groups like Boko Haram since the Obama days. Remember when they...
From what I'm hearing in chat, the Congo stuff is not religiously motivated. This is mostly centered around, I think it's Mali and Nigeria. So, the Fox and Friends guys are kind of taking a lot of different conflicts that are happening throughout the African continent right now, and they're trying to lump them all together as analogous to, or basically just part of a great whole of this genocide, which is, I guess, a really gross oversimplification. Like, this particular Christian versus Muslim genocide situation is very regional to not just Nigeria, but several other border countries and their specific regions where it's happening. And it's certain groups behind it.
Kidnapped those girls, and there was this whole campaign to bring back the girls, and many of those girls are still in captivity. This is a gentleman named Paul Adamu. He is Nigerian. He is a Christian, and he was kidnapped by Boko Haram. And this is what he had to say in an op-ed with Fox
Boko
News
Haram.
recently. He said, "These are not random acts of violence. They are systematic, coordinated attempts to erase Christian communities from the region. As someone who has walked through the burned villages and prayed with survivors, I can tell you the reality is even worse than the statistics suggest. The United States and other Western nations cannot look away. They have both the moral obligation and the diplomatic tools to press Nigeria towards real accountability."
I don't have anything to contest with what was said there, but one thing I will say is, gotta love Fox News' standard for citation being Fox News opinion piece by Paul Adamu from Fox News. This is Fox and Friends citing Fox News opinion pieces. Talk about shameless. #1 network in America, by the way. Top of politics of all time.
By the way, he is also going to be on our show later on today, and we'll hear from him directly.
And, the thing that I love about that, the tweet,
Okay, so we're not so we're just really leaning into how bad the genocide is, so Trump invading is good. Keep in mind, by the way, Trump's not talking about putting boots on the ground to help the Nigerian government stop the genocide and prevent these, like, radical groups from killing more Christians. That, I think most people would agree, that would be a good way to handle it, actually. Like providing aid to the Nigerian military to stop the genocide, cool. The problem is, what he wants to do is invade and, literally annex Nigeria. He wants to topple the government as a punishment for them not stopping the genocide themselves. And that is not a proper way to engage in world politics. Imagine quoting yourself, couldn't be me.
The message by President Trump is that, we talked last week about the Done Row doctrine, how President Trump is concerned more about his own backyard, which is way smarter than gallivanting all around the world. But the other thing is...
All right, so you're lampshading. Of course, we normally don't like when we invade other countries that have nothing to do with America while Americans are suffering and starving, and we're literally currently going through a recession. We shouldn't be going to war and wasting money on a war with another country. This is going to piss off MAGA immensely, I think. I don't think MAGA cares enough about, let's be honest, black Christians in Africa to be in favor of Trump doing the thing that he ran on being against, which is any kind of money being spent to do anything overseas, particularly helping people. The narrative that it's to stop a genocide, if anything, might radicalize MAGA to dislike this even more. This might end up being the next Trump agreeing to allow a Air Force base to be built on U.S. soil of a foreign country. Like, that is going to be not well received.
You can use that pulpit as a way to put your foot down and scare the living bejesus out of foreign countries where they are doing things like this.
Yes.
And it's part of the anything is possible doctrine, or the daddy's home doctrine, where...
Oh my God. Okay. I had to cringe for a moment there. Sorry.
People are actually afraid. They recognize he really will make good on all of his promises. And that tends to sort of inspire peace, and we've seen it around the world.
I love the way you said earlier when we were talking about this before the show started. I said, well, I think all the actors in there are bad. I mean, these are factions, you know, military factions fighting against each other, and these civilians are sort of caught in it. And Charlie said,
no, if I'm not mistaken, it's Boko Haram killing people who are Christian genocidally, and the military of Nigeria trying to, like, prevent that, but not exactly doing great at it, which Trump is trying to use as a threat against the government of Nigeria to invade the country.
well, it's just that's what President Trump does. He just says, knock it off, or I'm coming up there.
Don't make me come upstairs.
It's a great point, but the
Daddy's home.
important,
God,
the
they're
important
so
part about
cringe,
it is we
bro.
are seeing.
Oh my God, they're so cringe. And keep in mind, Trump said this is his favorite show. They are directly speaking to Trump. They are performing for the president right now because he watches this every day.
President Trump's peace through strength in action, because there's soft power, the trade that has gotten so much accomplishments, but then there's a hard power, and that's the threat of guns a-blazing. And look, if he does go guns a-blazing, it's going to be a limited strike, precision. It's not going to be some starting a war. We've seen this before. He's done that. We'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, Nigeria is on notice now. And I went this morning to the United Nations Twitter feed. I'm like, I wonder if there's anything about Nigeria, about Christians. Nothing. You can find condemnation of the drug boats being taken out in the Caribbean by the UN, but you won't see that. Very interesting
That's
thing.
very fascinating, actually, Greg.
I'll keep watching. I'll bring it to our viewers if we see it.
You might be the only one on the UN, on the UN Twitter handle.
You can follow the UN for the rest of us.
It's because this is what they're supposed to do, and yet they're so absent.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily.
God. And you know they're twisting it to try and lessen the blow that it's inevitable. Because keep in mind, the two biggest issues that won Trump the election in 2024 were immigration and the economy. Both of them tied back fundamentally to the same point, which is America needs to stop allowing anyone from the outside in or anyone from inside out in such a way that causes America to lose money. If money from inside America is going to immigrants, that's America losing money in their mind. If we're giving any kind of aid overseas for anything, or waging war overseas, that's us losing money, sending money outside of the country, just beyond our borders, to evaporate and never be seen again. And so in their minds, any kind of non-isolationist policy is a betrayal, a severe one. And I think that's inevitably how MAGA's probably going to respond to Trump for this, wanting to put U.S. boots in the ground in Nigeria to stop a genocide, quote-unquote, when there are Americans suffering, now more than ever, with this massive, like, we're entering a big recession while also being in a government shutdown where no one is getting their SNAP benefits, so people are going hungry. All the while, data is coming out showing that for the first time in a long time, a significant percentage of Americans are missing their car payments, which is the first indicator that Americans' spending money has depleted so far that they're now no longer even able to pay their bills, much less buy anything beyond their bills to keep their utilities on and a roof above their head. Times are really tough. Now is not the kind of time where Trump's go-to Epstein distraction should be,
Guess what, everybody? We're invading another country, and we're gonna have boots on the ground. Americans will die.
that is not what his supporters want to hear right now, let me tell you. I don't think they're going to take this all that well. Anyway, folks, if you did enjoy this segment, if you found it entertaining, educational, or enjoyable, leave a like, a comment, and a hype, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. It really does help the channel a lot, I mean it. Thank you to every one of you who does so. It really, every single bit helps. And with that said, I hope to see you again.